Not so long ago, we were pretty sure that light unibody pickups will remain reserved for developing markets like South America. But then, the Maverick suddenly came up and turned things upside down. Today, Ford's small pickup enjoys great popularity, not just because of its quality, but also because there's just one competitor at the moment, the Hyundai Santa Cruz. Still, all this could change, as Chevy will be releasing a $25,000 Ford Maverick Challenger pretty soon. Chevy already has a pickup for the US market. As we've mentioned before, Ford Maverick is enjoying great popularity these days. Ford will soon form the night shift in its Hermosillo to increase production capacities, as the demand doesn't seem to abate at all. The new Maverick surprised everyone, even the Ford officials. It's not just about the sales numbers. The thing with this small truck is that it brings new customers to Ford. The Maverick is not just a pickup. It's a lifestyle-oriented vehicle that managed to attract a lot of non-traditional pickup buyers as well, thanks to its great combination of practicality and efficiency. For that reason, other companies are eager to bring their players into the segment. Reportedly, Toyota plans to bring Stout, while Stellantis is also preparing a small truck, either with Ram or a Jeep badge. The problem that these companies have is that they have to start building their light pickups from scratch, so development might take a few more years. On the other hand, Chevy might not have such a problem, because it already sells a small pickup in some other parts of the world, particularly South America. We're talking about Chevy Montana, a small pickup that has been in production for a full 2 decades. The original model was launched back in 2003, while the current 3rd generation model has been around since the last year. So we could say it's more than fresh to compete with the Maverick. The original model started as a Coupe Ute, a body style that was very popular in markets of South America and Africa back in the day. Meanwhile, the Montana was evolving, becoming more rugged with each redesign. Eventually, the current generation came with respectable proportions and a genuine pickup body style. With the current design, it looks like it could easily be adapted to the North American market, with more or less significant modifications. Design. So the current generation Montana, sold in Latin America, has all the ingredients to compete in the light pickup segment. It is compact, light, and rides on a unibody platform. The new platform, called GM or GEM, was developed by GM and its Chinese department, better known as SAIC. The two companies provided a platform that would be used for a couple more models in the lineup, and in the case of Montana, it brought a simple but quite effective layout. The Montana uses a quite simple chassis and suspension setup, and in the case of US arrival, that potentially means a low starting price and low costs of maintenance. Another important aspect of the Montana is its size. This pickup measures around 110 inches in wheelbase and a little bit over 185 inches in total length. Those are notably smaller dimensions compared to the Maverick, which is good for 121 inches in the wheelbase and 200 inches in total length. This means that the Montana would be easier to drive and more maneuverable. Potentially, this means it could also attract more non-traditional pickup buyers, those who are looking for a lifestyle-oriented truck rather than a utilitarian vehicle. On the other hand, a smaller size means less interior space and potentially a smaller cargo area. Simply said, this pickup would have a few advantages over the Maverick, but it isn't without its drawbacks. As for the styling, the current generation sold in South America is pretty fresh and looks very attractive. You can easily notice all the ingredients of Chevy's contemporary design language. Lots of sharp lines, narrow headlights, and aggressive bumper design resemble models like the Chevy Blazer pretty closely. We think that this pickup doesn't need any modification in this aspect to attract North American buyers. Of course, the North American version would also come exclusively in a crew cab layout. Engines. The 3rd generation Montana came with a new engine, a 1.2-liter 3-cylinder turbocharged unit. Such a small engine is beneficial in some ways, especially when it comes to fuel economy. It returns around 28 miles per gallon in the city and 32 miles per gallon on the highway. While that's still lower compared to the Maverick Hybrid, it's a way better economy compared to the gas-powered Maverick, which returns no more than 22 miles per gallon in the city and 28 miles per gallon on the highway. However, the problem with this small displacement engine is the lack of power. While Maverick's gasoline and hybrid units deliver 250 and 191 horsepower respectively, this small Turbo 3 puts out just 131 horsepower. That may work in developing markets, but we doubt that anyone would even consider buying such an underpowered pickup in North America. Such a lack of power would be a big limitation factor, not just in terms of driving dynamics, but also in aspects like max towing capacity, off-road potential, etc. In other words, Chevy might have a pickup to compete with the Maverick, but it still needs to put a more capable engine in it. Of course, the new pickup would have to use Turbo 4s, and we presume base models could come with a 1.5-liter engine, which puts out around 170 horsepower. It would still be less powerful than Maverick's units, but it would offer good fuel economy, probably around 26 miles per gallon in the city and 31 miles per gallon on the highway. Higher trim levels could use a bigger 2.0-liter Turbo 4, which puts out a respectable 230 horsepower, and that could be Chevy's answer to Ford's 250 horsepower Turbo 4. As for the transmission, we like the fact that the South American market Montana offers both manual and automatic gearbox. However, the expected engine upgrade would require a new transmission. We're pretty sure that the US market model would come with a more advanced 9-speed automatic gearbox. All-wheel drive is a must. The South American market Montana may have a couple of trumps that could make it popular in North America, but it also has a few weak points. Besides the subpar engine power, there's also the matter of the drivetrain. The current version comes only with front-wheel drive, and while many potential buyers would probably be okay with that, many of them would prefer a pickup with all-wheel drive and decent off-road potential. This would require further modifications on the GEM platform, as it doesn't support all-wheel drive at this moment. That may be one of the reasons why GM officials are still not sure about bringing this model to North America. With the attractive styling and lifestyle-oriented overall layout, this pickup would certainly need a variant with decent off-road performance. Besides all-wheel drive, such a version would need further upgrades in terms of suspension, increased ground clearance, additional traction control modes, etc. Interior. If there's an aspect of Chevy Montana that already looks ready for the US market, that would be its interior. This pickup might feature smaller dimensions than the Maverick, but it still features 2 rows of seats. Of course, there is slightly less legroom compared to the Ford pickup, but still enough to accommodate adults in both rows. The thing we like most about Montana's cabin is the dashboard design. Compared to the Maverick, which features a utilitarian, pretty truckish dash that's rather functional than elegant, Montana's dashboard is very car-like. Once again, we can see a resemblance with Chevy's crossovers like Equinox and Blazer, and there's really nothing to complain about in this aspect. Even the materials are pretty nice, considering that the model was initially designed for developing markets. Furthermore, there's a pretty generous offer of tech features. Base models come standard with an 8-inch touchscreen, wireless Apple CarPlay, and Android Auto, wireless charging, and many more. As we're talking about the model for Latin American countries, the US market version could only get better in this aspect and offer more tech and convenience features. Cargo bed design. One of the reasons why many non-traditional pickup buyers went for the Maverick was the practicality that the open cargo bed offers. So we presume that potential Montana buyers would look for the same thing. Despite the smaller overall dimensions, Montana's cargo bed isn't much smaller compared to the Maverick. It features nearly 31 cubic feet of cargo space, which is just 2 cubes fewer compared to Ford's light pickup. Besides competitive numbers, Montana would have a few more trumps in its pocket to attract buyers. One of them is the cargo bed's flexibility. Thanks to the multi-board dividers. With this divider, it's super easy to configure Montana's cargo bed in different ways and create different types of storage compartments. In that way, you can store your tools and objects of different sizes safely. You can even configure the cargo bed to be on 2 levels, while Chevy also advertises an advanced sealing system that ensures superb water protection. Release date and price. Although Chevy officials are still quiet, we're pretty sure that they have plans to enter this segment. In the case they decide to bring Montana to North America, the whole process of adaptation to the more demanding market would be a simpler and cheaper solution than building a new pickup from scratch. For that reason, we believe it could arrive already in 2024. Of course, it can become successful only if it comes with a competitive price. It's still hard to talk about precise numbers, but something like $25,000 for the base version would put it on par with the Maverick. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.